The Mask of Zorro, released in 1998 and is directed by Martin Campbell, who has also directed such films like GoldenEye, Vertical Limit, Casino Royale, Green Lantern, and The Legend of Zorro, which is the sequel to Mask of Zorro that never, ever happened. And this film is starring Antonio Banderas, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Matt Lesher, Stuart Wilson, and Anthony Hopkins, who plays a very convincing Mexican native. Diego de la Vega fights for the Spanish commoners of Mexico against all of the high-class dons as the masked vigilante Zorro. However, Don Rafael has learned his secret identity and arrests de la Vega while accidentally murdering his wife in the process. Don Rafael takes de la Vega's child as his own and locks de la Vega up in prison to live out the rest of his days. 20 years later, de la Vega escapes from his prison cell, and Don Rafael has returned to Mexico to expand its reach into the United States. However, de la Vega, not being the man he used to be, searches for a younger man who holds the same values as he did as Zorro. Enter Antonio Banderas, who de la Vega has chosen to continue the legacy of the Fox Zorro. Which, I'll be honest, I never realized that Zorro was Spanish for fox. And I know they say that in here, I just never put two and two together for some reason. This is my Robin mask, and it is cutting into me. It's kind of painful, but I am going to continue wearing this throughout the entire review because I love this movie so much. Seriously, I used to watch this movie non-stop, on repeat as a kid. We never owned it until I bought it on DVD several years ago, but as a kid we never owned it. We always rented it from the video store, and whenever we got it, I would just watch it on repeat over and over and over again. If it was on cable, that's what I was doing that entire afternoon until it was done. I was big into any film that had sword fights in it, or lightsaber fights. Any type of saber will do. And this film is a non-stop, joyful, action-packed ride that it still holds up today, surprisingly. What a way for Zorro to make his big mainstream debut, at least in the modern sense, with this film. The character that inspired the modern-day superhero. You can attribute some aspects of Superman to Zorro. A major influence Zorro had on the creation of the character of Batman. A rich billionaire who lives in a mansion and has a cave underneath it that houses all of his secret identity stuff. When he puts on the mask, he becomes a different person, a symbol of justice and freedom, and a fighter of the people. And he also has an old, wise character overseeing him. We have Alfred with Batman. We have the elder de la Vega with Antonio Banderas here. Yeah, before Batman came Zorro. And what a perfect time to do that too, because just the year before this film came out, we got what is widely known nowadays as the atrocity of Batman and Robin. The world was done with Batman for a couple of years, but here's Zorro. Let's go back to our roots and see what inspired the character of Batman. Now, this film could have gone down a very dark road because when we get to the basis of this film, it is a very dark vengeance sort of tale. De la Vega is in prison for 20 years, just waiting for the opportunity to right the wrongs with Don Rafael for what he did to his wife and to his daughter and to his life. He escapes from prison, basically plagiarizing the Count of Monte Cristo. This could have gone down a very dark road, but thankfully we have a lot of brightness and a lot of humor, clever humor, in this film, especially when Antonio Banderas comes on screen. And I think he is a wonderful Zorro. I just love him as that character. Set aside whatever happened in the sequel, I've only seen it once, and I was just so angry and disappointed. We were on such a high with this movie, and then that sequel came out, and it was like, what happened? Where did this go? He's funny, he's witty, he's charming, he plays a simpleton at first, but when it comes down to saving people and righting wrongs, you can see the shift in his personality when, okay, I'm all business, let's take care of this. Anthony Hopkins, I was joking before about how he was just a wonderful Mexican when that's just, it's so not the case, but it's nice to see him here because he does give a lot of clout to this film. And I do remember when I first saw this movie, and when Catherine Zeta-Jones came on screen for the first time, I thought she was an angel. I thought she was the most beautiful person I had ever seen before. I'm watching this movie now. She is still angelic. She is still stunning. The Spanish garbs, the gowns that she wears, just whoever did her makeup, it's perfect. It is pitch perfect. Wonderful. I wish she wouldn't laugh when she was sword fighting with Zorro. If I was the director, I would be very annoyed at that. It is a fun banter sword fight between the two, but there's also points where she's like, no, I'm fighting you for my father. But whenever the blades start going, you could just see the smile come over her, and to me, I'm like, that's the actress. That's not the character smiling. You're smiling because you're just having fun doing this in an action film. To be fair, I would too, but she's also getting paid millions of dollars for that role, so, you know. Be professional. Come on. This film follows a standard superhero formula. We get the origin tale, we get a first battle or the first appearance of our masked vigilante, then we see him come into his own, and then we get to a nice final climax where everything is resolved and we get a nice happy ending at the end. So nothing innovative, nothing spectacular. It's just done exceptionally well. Matt Lesher, who plays the captain who kills Antonio Banderas' brother in this film, the definition of what an antagonist, of what a villain needs to be. Charming to an extent, but malicious and evil on the other end of the spectrum. If he had a longer mustache, he would be twirling that sucker. Same thing goes for Stuart Wilson as Don Raphael. Charming and evil. Makes for a good villain every time. The practical effects, the choreography, the stunt choreography, it's top-notch. It allows this film to be timeless. When you're caught up in CGI, or at least visual effects of the time, if you're looking at it 25, 30 years later, you can look back and go, oh, wow, how childish and how prehistoric were those effects. But when you do it all practically, like what this film did for the majority of the time, you can look at it 30, 50 years from now and go, all of that was practical. Just wonderful stunt work. And they hit some very fun superhero-like poses in this film. We have the burning logo, the Z in the fields, and then also there is a point where Antonio Banderas, he takes out his sword and it's in the sunlight and he just kind of bends the sword in a certain way where the light reflects off of his blade and you just see the light going zing. So cool. Would anyone ever do that in real life after taking your blade out of your sheath? No. But it makes for a cool movie image. This is one of my favorite movies as a kid. I think it's one of my favorite movies of all time. Maybe in the top 20, 25. It's just one of those films that I could watch on a loop from now until the end of time, and I would never get sick of it. I'm gonna give The Mask of Zorro 5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I think I see blue. He looks glorious.
Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part of my videos where I randomly select which movie I'm going to be watching next. We are going to be pulling from the list of all the recommendations that I've received from everyone. So let's take a look and see what pops up. Loading. 1917, recommended from Beard's Eye View and Everett Inquisitor. Nominated for Best Picture this year. I do own this, but I have never watched it. I have not watched it yet. I have heard nothing but amazing, stellar things about it, so I'm sure after I watch it, it is going to make the top 10 list of all the films that I reviewed of this year that I always put out at the end of the year. Oh, this year is almost over. How crazy is that? So we'll check out the World War I epic film 1917 next time. If any of you have recommendations of films that you want me to review on here, you can leave your recommendation below this video, or go to my Facebook page, my Instagram, or my Twitter, leave your recommendation there. If I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, and give you a shout on the channel. And if you really want me to do your recommendation as quickly as I possibly can, if you want to bypass the random generator, and if you want to help support me in building this channel, you can make a PayPal donation on the main page of my YouTube channel. Any size donation will do. Just attach your movie with your donation, and if I have access to it, I will watch it and get my review of it published as quickly as I possibly can. So guys, if you've seen The Mask of Zorro, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this video, awesome. Comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you know the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time with my review of 1917. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.